Hello and welcome to the show. It's available on Google, on Spotify, and on Apple Podcasts or any podcast player of your choice. So remember to subscribe once you're done listening to the episode and give me a 5-star review. However, I've noticed that on Spotify, finally, I have a 4.9 review. So that means that there are some people who are dissatisfied with what's going on over here on the podcast. Well, I guess my 5-star run wasn't going to go on forever. So for those of you who take issue with certain aspects of the podcast, you have some questions, some recommendations, some whatever, apart from dinging me on the reviews, you actually should connect. I give my personal details at the end of the show. And yeah, so reach out. Let me know how the show can be better, things you think we haven't addressed on the show, and those sorts of issues. Now, before we go on to today's audience question, because we're way behind, apologies because even though I am currently at my working space, not my recording space anyway, there's going to be some noise in the background because my neighbors are out and about, and one of them is feeling rather motivational. So she's been breaking out into praise and worship songs every now and then. So if you hear that coming in through the background and you're a Christian, then just tap into the Spirit, tap into the anointing, and use that to have a wonderful day. So let's get straight into the questions. The question rather. I'm only going to tackle one today. And this is a really old and outstanding question from Taisha Kanyinji. So sorry if I am mispronouncing your name. I guess now I feel how lots of folks feel, especially people who haven't run into TIV people before, and then they come across me, they see the spelling of my name, and they're like, "Oh, how do you pronounce that?" So I'm beginning to feel what it's like to come across really strange and exotic names. Now, Taisha Kanyinji, her question is, what if I have marketing skills but I can't sell? Well, that's an easy question to answer. The answer is it's a big problem. But before we appreciate how big the problem is and why it's a problem, let's go straight to definitions first. Now, marketing, different definitions. So let's just stick to what the commonalities are, regardless of who it is that you ask for a definition. So, marketing involves creating awareness for your product or your service, creating awareness for the problem that you solve, creating awareness for the solution that you brought to the market, creating awareness around who you are, why you exist, and giving options for how people can get in touch. So, if you look at it through that lens, then you can see that lots of people are very good at creating awareness, whether it's creating podcasts, blog posts, putting out flyers, running advertisements on Facebook or billboards or whatever. But not many people are very good at selling. So, what is selling and how is this different from marketing? So, marketing, creating awareness. Basically, marketing is just trying to let the whole world know I'm open, I'm in business, this is my product, this is my service, this is how you can reach me if you are interested. Now, selling, on the other hand, first off, selling is always a conversation. Let's have that at the back of our mind. Well, rather, let me put it this way, selling should always be a conversation. You don't have to be in physical proximity to someone face to face or, new media, video, phone, things like that. But always think of it as a conversation. If you think of it as a conversation, then you can't go wrong, whether you're on the Instagram DMs or the LinkedIn private messages or WhatsApp messages, Telegram, email, whatever. Always think of selling as a conversation. So, selling is conversations that are aimed at getting people to buy. Now, sales is necessary because very few people are going to buy of their own accord. Lots of people are going to see your Instagram post, your this, your that, whatever it is that you've done to create awareness, pick up your flyer from church or from the supermarket or whatever. But most people are not going to buy of their own accord. Some people will buy, but that's just low hanging fruit. And low hanging fruit is very good because you haven't had to work for that per se, so it's nice. But low hanging fruit is not going to make you, is not going to help you build a successful business that you're currently thinking of now that you're contemplating going into business or now that you have started your entrepreneurial journey. So most people are going to need some kind of nudging, pushing forward, encouragement, teasing, enticing, whatever it is that you want to call it. Most people are going to need those sorts of actions because lots of folks have unanswered questions. So you're coming into business, and let's say you sell hair cream made with shea butter. People have lots of unanswered questions. You have fathers like me that are anxious about a lot of all these things in the market because I grew up on Vaseline. My parents grew up on Vaseline, and as far as I'm concerned, there's nothing wrong with Vaseline, and all hail Vaseline. Everybody use Vaseline. But then, children have all kinds of skin concerns. You know, you go off to school, you get hurt, you mix with new people, you're coming back with all kinds of skin things, you have a fungus infection, you know, blah, blah, blah. So there are some parents that are anxious about what kind of Vaseline should I use for my kids. Sorry, not Vaseline. Sorry, forgive me. In this part of the world, Vaseline had been popular for a while with certain generations. So sometimes you just head to the market and say, "I'm going to go and buy Vaseline," while actually you mean you're going to go and buy something else. So it's that whole like Q-Tex thing. Sorry, not Q-Tex. What's it called? Anyway, you get the whole idea. Sometimes the name of a product is so successful that people start using the name of the product to refer to the whole category. So that's what's happening there. So some parents now wonder, what kind of cream should I use for my kids? And you have this revolutionary new thing that is based off of palm oil and maybe shea butter. Now, for dads like me, all we know is we're looking at the packaging, and I guess we just walk by and we pick up the Vaseline that we know. So we have lots of unanswered questions. Palm oil in soap, is that natural? Is that normal? And the answer actually is yes, palm oil in soap is normal. I was shocked to find out that loads of the soaps and creams that we use have palm oil in it. Oh, sorry, I just made a mistake. I think I moved from Vaseline to soap. Well, anyway, you get the whole gist. There are some people who have unanswered questions or concerns about your products. They might have trust issues. You're on a known brand, or maybe they have a problem, but they just don't know that they have a problem. Like you can have a man walking around with really ashy skin, but as far as he's concerned, he doesn't think he has a problem. So the man and the children, they're all walking around with ashy skin. And yes, that is me and my children. Well, now that the Hamatan is here, I'm making sure that everybody uses Vaseline before we all hop out the door in the morning. So they might have a problem, but not know that they have a problem. So these are some of the things that are making people not want to try out your product or your service. So that's the reason why they need some nudging, some teasing, some enticing, some whatever it is. But all of these things cannot happen unless there is a conversation that is going on in the first place. There has to be someone around for me to ask the questions that this looks interesting, but what's the difference between this and Vaseline? Or Vaseline worked fine for me and for my mom and for my dad. So why should I use something else for my kids? So you see how these things require the context of a conversation, whether in an Instagram chat or in a WhatsApp chat or face to face or over the phone, or you go to the person's office. I'm not saying you should do that to sell your Vaseline or your soap or whatever, but I'm just saying that for most products or services, this is the reason why. This is necessity why we need selling skills, because some people will just walk by, pick up your Vaseline. Sorry, not Vaseline. Pick up your. You get my idea. They'll pick up your soap. They'll pick up your new cream without giving it much thought, and then they'll leave. If they try it out and they don't like it, they'll stop. If they like it, they'll continue. But then there are some people who, like me, who will stop and who will hover and just think, Vaseline has worked for generations. I'm just going to buy Vaseline. So that is why relying on marketing is not going to make you the millionaire that you think it is, because you're only going to get low hanging fruit. Now, if you're good at marketing, that's absolutely great, because if you're good at marketing, it means that lots of people. Excuse me. I have a cold. Okay. All right, sorry, I was in the middle of a sneeze. Hamatan here, and then children bringing home viruses. So I'm down with a cold as usual. All right, now where was I? Okay, so if you're good at marketing, it's fantastic, because that means lots of people now know about you. They come to your online store, they hit you up in DMs, they send emails to you, they send WhatsApps, they hit you up on LinkedIn, uh, or they run into you in church, and they have lots of questions. But the thing is, lots of people, lots of attention does not mean you're going to have great sales. So if you're good at marketing, but then you have poor sales, that means you have a problem. You have poor conversion. Poor conversion. Yeah, let me just leave it at that. Poor conversion. Now, what is conversion? Conversion is the number of people who end up buying. So if 100 people come to your website and then only one person buys, then that is conversion. One person has taken action. And then in this case, you can see that conversion is really bad. 100 people showed up, only one person buy. You have a store at the mall, let's say you buy one of those little counting things, you give it to your staff so that they can tick off and see how many people come into the store, and maybe at the end of the day they take 350, but you realize that you only made sales, I mean only two people bought, and two out of 350, I mean that is actually that is terrible. 350 people passing through your store and then only two people buying. So that's what conversion is. All these people are showing up because of our marketing. They come to the store, they come to the website, they come to the site, they come to the farm, they come to whatever, but not many people are buying. So conversion, that's people taking the next step. And this is a problem because you have a lot of wasted use of your time and money, or inefficient use of your time and money, because marketing requires time or money. You need money to print your flyers, to book your billboards, to launch your Instagram ads, or, well, you don't have money, you invest time in doing that, setting up your advertisements for those things that can be set up online. Okay, no, you actually do have to pay for the advertisements. Then creating content. So lots of time and money is spent in marketing, and if conversions are poor, you are wasting a lot of money. Think about that. First scenario, 100 people show up, only one person buys. Second scenario, 350 people show up, only two people buy. Now, of course, I am using these exaggerated, inflated examples just to prove a point, but I doubt that your business right now is that bad. If your business is that bad, then actually is a problem. It could be a sign of different things, but let's not get to that now. So, being good at marketing and being poor at sales is a problem because you're wasting time, you're wasting money. There also is a very significant cost to being good at marketing and being poor at sales, and that is poor morale, because you hear too many no's. Imagine having 100 people walk into your store, only one person buys, and that happens every single day. That happened all of January, February, March, April, May, June, July, blah 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 blah. We're currently in November. It's demotivating, and there's a lack of motivation to keep the store open, to keep on marketing, to keep going, and it's just demotivating all around. All the no's that you get, all the no thank you, I'm just passing through, I'm waiting for somebody, no, I just saw you guys online, I just wanted to have a look. And then you look at the bank account and you're still having to pay your staff, or you're still having to pay for raw material to get your stuff done. So for me, I think that is the most significant cost of not being good at sales, this poor morale. Because I think there are lots of businesses that fail just because people didn't have the morale to stick it through, to learn, to be efficient, and to optimize what they need to get the business successful. Sorry, one moment. Okay, I think I might have to go see a doctor soon. All right, where was I? Okay, so the poor motivation and how that is a problem. Now, what is the solution? The solution is pretty simple, actually, and that is learn sales. Some of you don't like sales. You think it sounds slimy. You don't want to be a salesperson. You don't want to be pushy. You don't want to be aggressive. That's not a problem. Then pick up your Google machine or go and look for a consultant or a specialist on conversion, and then learn conversion. Some people say, conversion, that's only for tech heads, but I don't have a tech thing. I have a real product and blah, 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 blah. Or I'm in the people business. Okay, that's fine. Then learn relationship selling or relationship marketing. Now, the thing is, you guys might think sales is different from conversion, which is different from relationship marketing, which is different from relationship selling. But actually, they are all the same thing. People just give them different names so that they can market it differently, or distinguish themselves from other professionals out there. But I prefer to use the old traditional terms, because the old traditional terms encapsulate everything and makes accommodation for everything. So there's no need running around trying to reinvent and to do something new. So learn sales. If you don't like sales, no problem. Pick up Google, pick up YouTube, type in conversion, learn that. If you think it's too many white boys talking tech issues, no problem. Google relationship selling, relationship marketing, blah, 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 in-person consultation, in-person sales, personal sellings. There are different euphemisms, but they all mean the same thing. So, learn sales. That is the solution. Now, what is sales? What is conversion? Okay, we're at the 15-minute mark, so there's no point into going into greater detail, but as a summary, remember I said sales, think of it as a conversation. Now, you can't convert someone, get someone to take the action that you want, unless you're sure that you're talking to the right person. You know how bad their need is, whether they really need it, and whether you can make a link between the problem that they have, the desire that they have, and then your product or your service. And it's only when you have that information that you can make a good presentation. That's why you give good reasons for why they ought to go ahead. Now, if you want to hear about this in some more detail, and this is your first time listening to the podcast, then after you're done listening to this, just scroll back and listen to the prior episode. It was about coming up with sales processes for creatives, where I shed more light on different stages of the sales process, and my emphasis in the last episode was much more practical. So it's not about you guys knowing what to do, but actually getting pen and paper and checking up some online resources, Google Bard, ChatGPT, so that we can come up with a concrete plan for selling and improving our business right away. So if you're going to listen to that episode, have a pen and paper ready. Okay, well, if you're on the move, no wahala. Just go back, listen to that episode, and whenever you get back home and the kids are asleep or whatever, then you can get your pen and paper out, do some of the exercises recommended there, and hit me up. Let me know what the results were. So that's all for today. We're past the 16-minute mark, so let me bring things to a close. So thank you very much. Remember to connect with me on WhatsApp. The number is 080-6466-2140. You can call, you can text, you can SMS. That's also my Telegram number as well. Let's see what else. Okay, yeah, then connect with me on LinkedIn. My name is Taveshima Ayede, the host of this here podcast. Don't know about the spelling of the name. Just check the website where you're listening to this episode and you'll see my name there, the correct spelling and my email address. Also, if you check the profile of the podcast app where you're listening to my voice, it's all there. Spelling of my name and an email address and all that good stuff. So connect with me. Let me know what you think. Let me have your questions. For those of you who've been applying things that we've been talking about on the podcast, when you hook up with me, let me know. I heard this, I applied this, it worked. And of course, those of you who are frustrated because you tried this, you applied it, and it didn't work, I would especially love to hear from you guys. So hook up with me. Let me know how the experiments are going. It will give me a chance to clarify a couple of things and maybe even make future episodes to explain things better. Perhaps maybe I glossed over a few things, made some things too cursory, and didn't explain properly. So thank you very much for your time and attention. I'll catch you guys at the next episode. I think we'll make that another listener question, although I'm currently working on some business feature episodes. A lady in Aberdeen, yes, my classmate, of course, but yeah, one of my classmates who's been in business, built a successful business in Aberdeen, Scotland, United Kingdom, for the last 15 years. I'm also in touch with a business consultant here in Abuja. We're trying to hook that up, and a couple of other professionals. Now, some of you might have noticed that the business features that we've done so far have been female. That's not deliberate. I've been reaching out to guys and girls, but for some reason, only the ladies are saying yes to having me talk about their business, especially from a sales and business development perspective, and then to see what the common principles are, how that and how that can apply, and then talk about stuff like that on the podcast. So it's not been deliberate, but if you hear about all these sorts of things, you're a female-owned business, and you relate to some of the stuff that we talk about here on the podcast, then yeah, sure, no problem. I'm open to that as well. Connect with me, hit me up. Let's take the conversation there, and let's see how we can share the goodness over here on the podcast about how we can grow our businesses, build successful businesses. Because the goal, at least in my own opinion, anyway, is to build a lifelong sustainable assets that we can either pass on to the next generation or that we can sell and give the next generation a whole bunch of money so that they start life or they continue life on easier terms than we, their parents, did. So thanks for your time and attention. I'll catch you guys at the next episode.